Welcome to this explainer masterclass. If you've ever felt like your English skills have just kind of hit a brick wall, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're mapping out the precise blueprint to upgrade your English from that basic B1 comprehension all the way to advanced C2 real-world fluency. So grab your notebooks because we're going to look really closely at the actual mechanics of native level expression and see exactly how to level up your daily communication.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off by escaping that B1 plateau. Then we'll build out your C2 fluency toolkit. After that, we'll apply it all to the real world, navigating remote work, handling stressful travel situations, and finally, mastering nuance and register. Let's get into it. Section 1. Escaping the B1 plateau. We're starting our journey right here, tackling that super frustrating feeling of being totally stuck at the intermediate stage. At this point, you already know the basics. You can share opinions, you can get through your day, but to reach C2, you have to shift your focus from simply surviving a conversation to actually shaping your words with precision, richness, and emotion. Just think about the immediate contrast between these two phrases. The literal meaning? Exactly identical. But the advanced version uses an idiomatic expression, like being completely wiped out, along with a really precise adjective, like demanding, to truly show emotion and paint a vivid picture. It totally transforms a basic exchange of facts into an authentic, deeply human expression. It's a real game changer.
So what's the holdup? Why is it so incredibly hard to make that leap? Well, a lot of learners plateau right here because they rely way too much on simple, literal words and isolated, choppy sentences. When you're terrified of making a mistake, you hesitate. You hold back from embracing the natural rhythm, the metaphors, and the advanced vocabulary that native speakers just use automatically. You stick to what's safe, but to hit C2 fluency, you've absolutely got to step out of that safety zone. Which brings us to Section 2. The C2 Fluency Toolkit. To escape that plateau, let's look at how to build out your core mechanics. You need a reliable set of strategies to construct more complex thoughts on the fly.
Think of these 3 steps as the architectural framework of advanced fluency. Number 1, you need strong bridges between your ideas. 2, you need a smooth, connected rhythm instead of those word-by-word robotic pauses. And 3, you absolutely need a bulletproof survival strategy for that inevitable moment when your brain just completely forgets a word. We've all been there, right? This is a perfect example of our first tool, the power of connectors. At B1, we lean heavily on simple words like and, but, and because. By swapping a basic connector like but for an advanced bridge like nevertheless, your speech instantly becomes more logical, structured, and, well, a lot more professional. It just carries your ideas forward so seamlessly.
Now here is a crucial point. Fluency doesn't mean you'll never forget a word again. No way. It means never letting a forgotten word stop your flow. If you blank on a word like library, a B1 speaker might freeze up and panic, but a C2 speaker, they confidently pivot. They use paraphrasing to call it the place where people borrow books, and they do it without breaking a sweat. It is literally the ultimate conversation survival tool. Section 3, Navigating Remote Work. Now that we've got the theory down, let's apply these tools to a modern everyday environment where tone is absolutely everything. When we communicate through screens, we lose body language, which makes the actual words we choose incredibly vital to maintaining good relationships. Think about sending a document to a busy coworker. A literal translation of what you want might be, read this and reply. But wow, that sounds a bit demanding, doesn't it? Instead, saying, let me know once you've had a chance to look it over, perfectly respects your colleague's schedule. It achieves the exact same goal, but it preserves a positive, collaborative atmosphere. Here is a quick checklist of essential phrases for the modern remote worker. Notice how they use indirect, soft language to navigate Zoom calls and digital collaboration without a hitch. Saying, would you mind if, is so much smoother than I am sharing my screen now. Asking to quickly sync up is just a wonderfully professional way to ask for a private chat without dragging out a team meeting. And honestly, politely navigating the dreaded sorry you were on mute scenario, that's practically a mandatory survival skill these days. Notice the immense power of hedging here. You're still asking the exact same question, you need an update, but the C2 phrasing, just circling back, completely removes the tension, the blame, and that pushy feeling. It keeps the relationship totally intact while still getting you the information you need. All right, let's move to Section 4, Real-World Travel Situations. We're stepping out of the home office and into the busy, chaotic, and often highly stressful world of airports and travel. This is where your C2 toolkit really gets tested under pressure.
We have all been there. You board a crowded flight, and someone is sitting right in your assigned spot. A B1 response might be a blunt, "That is my seat," which immediately puts the other person on the defensive. But using, "Sorry, I think that might be my seat," is the ultimate C2 way to handle the mistake politely. You completely avoid a stressful confrontation, but you still claim your space. You might want to write these down. These are highly specific situational sentences that standard textbooks rarely teach, yet they are absolute lifesavers for navigating checkpoints, asking a stranger for help gracefully, or, apologizing for an honest mistake in a busy line. They show you're aware of your surroundings and respectful of the systems in place. Picture this. You're totally panicked at the gate and your next flight leaves in 20 minutes. Demanding to go first? Yeah, that rarely works. But using an advanced, polite question form like, "Is there any chance I could board first?" often triggers a deep sense of helpfulness from airline staff, rather than resistance. The right phrasing can literally be the difference between making your flight and sleeping in the airport terminal. Section 5. Mastering Nuance and Register. For our final step, let's explore how to adjust your language like a dial on a radio, tuning perfectly into the exact situation, audience, and emotion you are experiencing. True C2 fluency means being a bit of a linguistic chameleon. It's knowing exactly when to use a casual, breezy phrase with a friend versus deploying a formal, highly polished phrase with a colleague or a brand new client. I mean, you wouldn't wear a tuxedo to the beach, right? And you definitely shouldn't use overly formal English at a casual get-together. Nuance is also about pinpointing exact feelings. Moving beyond a simple catch-all word like happy, an advanced speaker deliberately selects the precise shade of emotion for that specific moment. You might be thrilled for high-energy excitement about a promotion, or maybe just content to describe a quiet, satisfying Sunday morning. The words really matter because they color the entire experience. And this brings us to handling polite disagreement. Instead of a flat, "You are wrong," you validate their perspective first by saying, "I understand where you're coming from." This is an incredibly sophisticated technique. It keeps the conversation collaborative, positive, and respectful, even when you're right in the middle of a heated debate. Ultimately, taking your language skills from intermediate to advanced isn't just about sounding smart or passing some test. It's about gaining the absolute freedom to express your true self deeply, accurately, and authentically in literally any situation you encounter across the globe. It is a bridge connecting your inner thoughts to the world around you. So, now that you have the complete blueprint for C2 fluency, the real question is up to you. How will you use the strategies from this explainer to connect with the world around you today? Will you challenge yourself to use one advanced phrase, one metaphor, or one clever paraphrase in your next conversation? Think about it. What new doors will your words open tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me, and keep practicing.